Adventures in tabletop roleplay games have been the same for a while, and running them out of the book is not the easiest to do, especially as a first-time game master. It is not set up and shown to you in a very easy way. I ran Curse of Strahd, great adventure, great story, but man oh man, you cannot run that out of a book. If anyone has, leave a comment, and if there is an adventure out there for any game system, I would love to see like, oh, this one's laid out great. But what I have here to show you guys right now is a new, I'm going to have a name for it, but there's a new way to lay out adventures for game masters to be able to actually prep easier and play easier, to where you could literally run this out of the book almost with no prep. And that would be a challenge that I'm going to be doing myself, is to have an adventure and run it with no prep. And, or have somebody on my team do it, or have somebody in the community do it. Is here, take this, run it right away, because that's what I want to be able to do. I want to try and hopefully innovate something in this space of TTRPGs for other people to take, use, and steal. If I can spark some sort of inspiration there, then I would absolutely love that. I'm not trying to trademark this. I want to show this to people and see if you like it. And I want to know in the comments also, do you like this? Is this, would this be helpful? So here's the issue. The first thing I'm going to show right here is, this is Curse of Strahd. This is an excerpt from Curse of Strahd. And this would be like an example of like, oh, letter J. Okay, that's fine. You absolutely need to have lettering whenever you have bigger things and there's lots of parts and stuff like that, right? So the following text assumes, now if I'm running this live, first of all, if I'm prepping this, these are the two modes, because the system that I'm going to be proposing has two modes in one, which is I've never seen done before. If I'm wrong, let me know. But if I'm running this, if I'm prepping this, I have to read this whole thing, and I guess I have to. So there's even some times where in this flavor text, there's things that the game master would need to know. So I'm having to read a bunch of white text all over the place, and then if I'm running this live, the following text assumes characters arrive in the carriage. Oh, okay, so area 1, and then there's some sort of thing I need to know that I may or may not need to read this little 2-sentence thing, which does slow things down. And then we have flavor text, and you read it, and in my opinion, that flavor text is a bit long. If you, in general, now all adventures are different, but in general, I would say from running Curse of Strahd, the flavor text was at least twice as long as it should be. So I think we can get a bit more to the point, and now you don't want to just sit there and let your players listen to you, describe things. You could be a little bit more efficient about it, right? So there's one thing, but then we get to a big problem. If I'm running this, the drawbridge appears sturdy, but a few bits of boards are missing, and it creaks and groans under any weight. Why are we saying that? Seems like flavor text. So I don't know why that's necessarily, why am I needing to read this right now? Each time a creature other than Strahd or a horse draws a carriage, oh, this seems like it's coming into a mechanic that I need to know. There's a 5% chance, interesting game mechanic, that one of the boards breaks under the creature. If a board breaks, okay, so we needed to have that separated. I need to have that separated as a mechanic where if step on board, 5% chance board breaks. If board breaks, DC 10 dexterity saving throw to fall. If a companion's within 5 feet, we need to have this. If there's some sort of mechanics, it needs to be more laid out like that. But that's buried in this like paragraph that I don't necessarily know. And then, there's also green slime apparently somewhere here that I then, okay, the patch of green slime, see dungeon hazards, cling to the poor. Oh man. So I hope you can see maybe a little bit there while running that out of the book. It's just not color coded. It's not laid out. There's not the formatting that's needed to be able to do this. So here's my proposal. So what we've done, and the myself and the DC 20 team has done, is we have done this. We have made an adventure in this format. I'm going to show you the adventure, and I'm also going to show you another way that you can see it, to see the big picture ideas. And I really want to see what y'all's feedback is on this. But this is the DC 20 magazine, volume 13. It is an adventure. It's a little one shot you can do. There's a little branching path, and you can choose 2 different ways. There's some twists and turns. I'm not going to spoil it here, but this is one of the things we do that I'm very excited to show you guys. So in this adventure, it talks about NPCs. So another thing that I think adventures should do is front load a lot of stuff. I have ran adventures before, and I needed to know things, and I found it out while running it. There was a huge curveball I got in Curse of Strahd, and I got that 15, 20 sessions in. I read something. I was like, oh, that should be one of the things you tell the game master before even running this adventure. So front loading a lot of information here with a lot of different NPCs and all the different types of stuff you'd need to know. Cool, front loaded. That's good. Give the game master what they need to know so that their head's in the right space. They understand the big picture of what this whole thing's about, right? Now, in this case, we're talking about a one shot, but that's going to be even more important when it's talking adventure, right? So there's that. Front load, good, important things. Cool. Now, then this is a little section for creatures. And it's the minis you would need to have, whether it be digital mini tokens, physical mini tokens. It's the creatures that you need to have minis for. That's important, and I want to know that. Instead of, I can't tell you how many times I was preparing for Curse Stride. I was like, oh shoot, I don't have, and I'd have to get up and get minis and all that type of stuff. So there's nothing. Again, all of these things I'm saying are very, very small things. But now we get into something crazy, and this right here is the innovation I'm talking about. Let me know what you think. So every single adventure scene, everything in adventure is going to be laid out like this. It's going to have the scene and the name, and then it's going to have key moments. These key moments are a summary of the entire scene all at once. So if you forgot what that scene was, if you're like, which scene was the one that or wait a second, and you've prepped it out, but you forgot about, and you can go back to the scene. So there's the scene, and it has the name, which might just evocatively get you already. But there's the key moments that are what's about to happen in this scene. All the bullet points, summary of all the things. And this is Game Master need to know. All right, cool. And then you have green text. The green colored text is read aloud text as the Game Master describing the world. That's green. Anytime you see green, that's what it is. But then there's blue text. What's blue text? Character speaking. NPC dialogue. It's a silly talking voice. I'm talking as a character. And it is dialogue, like spoken dialogue as NPCs. You'll see what the application of this means here in a second, right? And then there's regular text, like this regular text, which is pretty much what all of the Curse of Strahd text. It looked like all regular text, and then I guess you had flavor text, right? But anyway, this regular text is just normal text, but it's efficient. It has no fluff, no flavor text in there, no NPC dialogue. No, it's just stripped down and efficient, super efficient. You'll see what I'm saying here in a second, right? And then, now this is blue. Time out. This is blue. Based on what I already told you, what do you think the blue has to do with? Probably some sort of NPC dialogue. But here's the thing. If there's, and I'll show you examples of this, if there's a blue and green back and forth, you know there's times where you've described a scene and there'll be green text and you're describing the flavor text, and then some NPC says something, and then you see the sun sets down across the thing. Well, good night, everybody. And then that's the scene. So it would be green, blue, green, blue, and you would be able to see this delineation in the scene. Cool. That's just what you read to the players. Now, if we have something like this, a character talking points box, or I'm going to call it probably character dialogue. Some of these things can be even more efficiently named. But this blue box is a box where an NPC has some things to say to the NPC, to the players, but it can be a back and forth. It's not like a shh, don't say anything, let me speak. It's not a scene where it's some sort of monologue. It's an actual talking point thing where a character has a few things to say, and it lists off those key points that you need to talk about and has the information right there. And goes one step further. Not only is there a bullet point that like sets the tone and gives the summary of the information, right below that is an actual quote, if you don't want to improv that you could literally read off as the character. Oh, there's in the woods, there's, and you could like read off instead of having to improv it, right? So that's blue. And then the final color coded piece is this like orange or brown text box, which is extra background, fluffy, flavorful, depthening, world building type information, right? So time out, take a big step back, If you take all of this and you see what all of these parts mean, here's what the crazy cool part of this is. And if you love this, I hope you do. I think this will help game masters. Here's the next level thing. I want you to go split your brain and think of two worlds. You're prepping as a game master and you're running the adventure off as a game master. If you're in prep mode as a game master, the only thing you need to read are key moments, plain text, orange text. That's it. Purposefully, and me and my team, when I designed this is a huge design pillar. Nothing is needed to be read in green or blue if you are preparing for the game. It has nothing. All of the context will be in the key points. It'll be in the orange text. You will be so when you prep, my gosh, you don't have to read everything. It cuts prep time in less than half because all you do is read the key points. And if you want to half-ass your prep, just read the key points. That's all you need to do. And the regular text, because the regular text but there's not going to be a lot of regular text. And if there is, it's efficient, you'll see. And then if you want to go above and beyond, read the orange text, right? And then the orange text is just extra stuff. It's like, oh yes, this cult that you found is called the this, and they have the this, and they're planning this, and gives you extra information that you might not even need to know, but might want to know, especially if you want to turn this into a bigger thing, right? And that's one part of your brain, right? So that's one example. Now here's the cool part. Let's say you're running it. When you're running it, all you need to do is green and blue. Hey, that rhymed. All you need to do is look at the green and blue, and that's it. You don't need the key moments, which might be a nice reminder, maybe if you wanted to have the key moments like, oh, let's see. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And then the regular plain text will guide you. It will be able to guide you as far as like what's happening next, and say things like, oh yeah, this let the players introduce them. The players introduce themselves, blah, 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 blah. The players plan, the examples of white text, like the players plan to, I'll show you examples. But it'll be super short, little things that just kind of guide you along, right? And then you definitely don't need to read the orange because you're in the middle of it. That's background information, unless it's like, what was that cult's name? Oh yeah, it's right there. And you know where to look for that type of stuff because it's in the orange, right? So now you're prepping, you know what to look at. You're running the game, you know what to look at. And it just runs itself. So here's an example. This is scene 3. Minor spoilers, I guess, for this adventure. It's a little bit of a thing. There's spiders. Okay, cool. Right? Now, scene 3 is in the cave. Here's the key moments. The party explores the cave with these 2 NPCs and has an exploration challenge. And they get ambushed by giant spiders. And this little heading right here tells you when to read it. And so the party's in the cave. Backtracking down a little road, you find the path the guard leads, the old mountain path, blah, 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 right? There's the flavor text, right? And I will also say, as we continue to polish things and get things done, I would say both of these flavor texts could probably be shorter, just in general, right? But we're trying to focus on the big picture of this. You get the idea. So you have the green flavor text, and then signs of other travelers in the area, few and far between. And then there's an NPC with some talking points. And, I forgot to say this part. In brackets is like the vocal qualities of the character. So in the brackets will be like strong and charming, like, this is now the voice that I have for Elliot. It's going to be strong and charming. Sounds good. Now, I'm now Elliot, and I haven't prepped at all. Oh gosh, I haven't prepped at all. So I look down in an authoritative tone, which is what's in parentheses there. This place looks too barren. Elliot's concerned. He's concerned how barren things look. And if you don't really understand what that means, or you don't know how to improv that, or you aren't as prepared, or you forgot something, you can just be like, I don't like how barren all of this looks. Let's go check it out and make sure there's a safe before we bring in this caravan through. Right? And it has the text for you right there. And then you let them talk back and forth. You let them say some things. The next talking point is Elliot tells everyone in the party and Faith to stay behind. Faith, we could use your light, and there we go. And you can read it all off, right? And that's a good example. And I would also say this white text, this would need to be trimmed down. That's not efficient enough. We're going to trim this down. So I have an even better example here for you guys. And my even better example is how I've made this literally in Notion. So if you saw my most recent live play video, this is the adventure I ran. In that live play video, this is scene 2. This is the one with the D&D shorts, D4 deep dive, Treant Monk, and Mr. Rex, all in the same scene. Here's how this whole thing worked out. When they had the tryouts with the Baroness, here's that. And I have the key moments. This is what happens in this scene. This is their tryouts. Party gets to go to the Wizard Tower. This is everything I need to know from what's happening in this scene. Done. And then the tryouts begin. I read the flavor text. And here's the NPC, Melog. He has a voice that sounds like a jester. Hello all, my name is Melog, and this is Bebo. Melog gestures over to the golem. Bebo, hello there, happy to see you. And then you keep going, right? And you see the names, you see the vocal qualities, you see the name, you see the vocal qualities. It helps the game master be able to know I'm talking as a character, or don't talk as the character. You could say, Melog says, hello all, my name is Melog, and this is Bebo. And then Bebo, in like this really high-pitched, like almost robot-sounding voice, says, hello there, nice to meet you. You don't have to do character voices. This just can maybe help you also voice it out if you don't want to actually use character voices, right? So then there's an example of plain text. Melag makes fun of the party name. So it's like, oh yeah, if in the scene previously, the party gets to name themselves. So then Melag pokes in front of the party. And if you want to do that, you can. If you don't have to, you can. It doesn't matter. And you go into, you're taken through a massive museum and you walk through. This is literally what I ran in the adventure, right? And then there's the blue text. There's no need for like a back and forth right now because it's just kind of like the scene that they're being walked through. But then the PC now, I'll go let her know. And he like walks away, and then I read, he walks away as you continue walking behind him, giving you a minute to talk and come up with a plan. So even as the flavor text, I'm already protecting the game master, especially new game masters, by kind of giving game master instruction in the flavor text as well, so that it kind of, oh, okay, that's what they're doing. And then now the plain white text says, PC's plan on how, the PC's plan on how they will impress her. Cool. And there's some orange text, which you could read because the players are probably going to be talking to each other now. You don't need to read this right now. You can read this for in prep. You can ignore this right now. Seraphina is going to look at the party and evaluate their manners. Based on their first impression, the party is going to either get a penalty or, oh, okay. And if it was bad, they subtract, oh, okay. And then a tip is, try and pick a PC as their favorite and one as their least favorite. So like, this is like me over your shoulder being like, all right, listen. Because I know the players, the spotlight's back on the players now, and they have to talk and play with each other. I know you have like a minute or two to yourself. There it is. And then, cool, I have this. And then now the PCs are ready to meet Seraphina. You're ready to it? And you read the flavor text. Following into the room, you're brought into a large room. Baroness Seraphina, I introduce to you. And there you go. And the check boxes. Check which PC bows or which PC doesn't bow. Oh, you're looking for it. And then give out the reward. Okay, cool. And you get the idea. And then there's the dialogue. And then if it's a good, now this is a good example of talking points. Talking points, right? This is all blue text, but it has, oops, oh God, what did I do there? All blue text, but it's bullet points. So the overall thing is good or bad reaction based on their manners. So if you want to improv that, you just do a good or bad a reaction based on how good their manners were and just freestyle it. If you're not comfortable with that, if it's good, if it's bad, there's pre-written quotes for you guys. Wow, some of y'all have it, whatever. And then you have the next bullet point. Let's see what you guys have. And then you can read off the next part of it to keep it moving along. And then the PC steps forward and you begin the help challenge. And then in plain text, it says how to run a help challenge. There it is, right? So that is what I'm trying to do to hopefully help game masters both in prep and in play to make it so easy to do this. This is why I ran Curse of Strahd in the first place, why I purposely tried to run an adventure. I was a homebrew game master for years before that, and I just did myself. I did my own prep. I made my own things, and I knew where everything was, and I prepped things the way that I knew that what I needed. But even my own prep is kind of terrible in comparison to what I just showed. And when I do my own prep, I find myself falling into this color coding system. I find myself falling into doing it, and it just works out so easy. The less stress that I've ever had, the least amount of stress I've ever had was honestly running that one shot for those YouTuber guys. It was, I literally had it on a silver platter. The adventure was just right there. So if you like it, let me know. If you don't, let me know. If there's some worries or concerns, this is something that we're going to be shipping out there. And if it's liked and it's well received, we're going to keep dialing off, keep polishing off, keep making it look real nice, and see where it goes from there. Stay creative. Think outside the box. Peace.